right, Coach. So taking a look at the obviously just kind of bringing it full circle here for the 2018-19 season preview. Obviously, it's in a much different situation than you've been in the last couple of years. A lot of continuity. You've been blessed with a lot of continuity the last few years, and that's not necessarily the case this year. So just kind of talk about how you've adjusted to having a basically new team.
Yeah, we've certainly really been fortunate to, have had we say get old, stay old. We've been able to stay old for the last few years, and that certainly makes things easier when you have continuity and cohesion. And that's different this year. We have to integrate a lot of new pieces. We talked about with these guys back in August, and we've reiterated, we don't want to be a team that relies on, hey, we got a lot of new guys, or we're young, or whatever, as an excuse or a crutch. It's on us to expedite the learning curve. Coaches need to do what they can to help that, and certainly the players have to take responsibility and ownership to get in and do what they can to expedite that learning curve, because starting with Auburn, then you go in and you're playing, Clayton State, Aiken, and Christian Brothers your first 3 games, all away from home. All are, some of the better teams in the country, all likely be in the NCAA tournament this year. You gotta get together and be good fast. And so, no excuses. I think we've gone in and tried to really go back and teach our system. You can't probably get as layered into it because of the amount of new guys you've had, but we've tried to stay true to our process and drag those guys along. And it's been, they've to their credit, they've come in really almost on a daily basis and tried to apply what we're teaching and try to be focused and committed. And as, like I said, we're a work in progress. It's not going to be seamless at all when you have this many new guys. But that being said, our goal is to get as good as we can. And we told them, and we're the same every year. We want to be better tomorrow than we are today. And if we do that every single day throughout the year that we're together, it'll end up, we'll be our best possible version of ourselves. And wherever that takes us, it takes us. Some years it's been pretty good. We've been able to get, and play pretty deep into March, play national championship and all that stuff. And, and who knows, but we never want to put a ceiling on our group, but that's our goal. Be better tomorrow than we are today, and do that every time that we're together, and let the chips fall where they may.
Talk about the makeup of the group, what you've learned about your team. Obviously had a much longer, lengthier preseason than normal, but so what have you kind of learned about this group as a whole as you head into the season?
I think we got guys that are committed. I think we got talent. I think we got guys that are young but or new but they're hungry, and so they come in, they work hard. I think they're committed to trying to be the very best they can be. I think they're certainly like all teams. They don't necessarily, outside of the guys who have been through it, don't understand the challenges and how difficult things are going to be. And you learn a lot about your team as you go through the season. Like we talked about, you can't skip experience. And so, one of the underrated things on any team is I think everybody talks about talent. They talk about all these intangible things, size, athleticism. To me, it's how do you respond, when things don't go your way. How are we going to respond with young teams? There's a tendency with young players when things don't happen the way you hope to deflate. You lose communication. Guys give in. How are we going to be? We always talk about, and I think historically we've been a pretty tough team mentally and physically over the years while we've had the success we've had. But this is a new group, and they've got to, and certainly it's on Cornelius, it's on Cameron Calhoun to kind of set the tone for, how do we respond? Because we got a lot of young guys, and we're looking at them going, when things do go sideways, how do we respond? And we got to have great communication. We've got to stay together. We've got to rally. And that toughness aspect, particularly that mental toughness, but there's a physical component too, but that mental toughness is vital if you're going to have a chance to have a special team. And we've got talent, but those intangible things, those are what's going to kind of, dictate how successful we are moving forward.
Outside of the normal things, the core tenets of the program in terms of defensive efficiency and rebounding and all of those things that it takes to win a basketball game in general, what is it going to take for this team to kind of be the best version of itself when it matters the most?
Well, it's like everybody. I mean, we got to just come in and we got to do the work on a daily basis. Everybody's got to play to their strengths, try to soar with their strengths, try to do what they can to complement and help the players around them. And then we got to be really committed to all the small battles inside the game. There's a lot of things that aren't, quantified in a box score that go into winning and losing, whether it's, loose balls, box out percentages. Are we going to be a team? What's makes good teams are always really the same. To me, I mean, are they tough? Are you tough? Do you defend at a high level? Are you unselfish? Do you generate, open shots? Do you rebound? Are you connected? Do you have poise and toughness when things don't go your way? I mean, those are things that I think are typical and characteristic of any elite team, probably across sports. I think it probably transcends just basketball, but that we're going to have to become that team. And we talk all the time. Every year is a new year. You get to create your own identity, whatever it was in the past. Just like culture, it doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters what you do. And it's the same thing with identity. We could talk about what the identity needs to be, and we could say what it is. But ultimately, it's about what we do, and it's the same thing with culture, chemistry. You can put words on a wall, but it's people, and it's what people do. And so we've got to really be about that identity. I think historically, we've really been mentally and physically tough. I think that's been really a core part of our identity. And then we've had talented players who have gotten better. And we've got to stay true to that. This group has to not just, like I said, not just verbally talk about that's what we're going to be, but they got to go out and showcase it. And like always, you're good if you play good. Proof's in the pudding. It doesn't matter what, people will get into expectations and, you're ranked this or you're picked this or whatever. And, I think it's great to have something to talk about, and people want to speculate and project, and that's every sport, not just particular to basketball, but from an internal standpoint, you should never let outside evaluation color your thinking or have an effect on what you're doing internally. We have a long way to go. We've got a lot of work to do to become a good team, but like I said, I do like the talent. I do like the fact that the work ethic we have, and I think for integrating a lot of new guys, we have pretty good chemistry.
That was my next question, actually. You're talking about so many new guys. How has that chemistry kind of come together? Obviously the coaching staff is trying to work together to see what pieces all fit together the best. So just how has that chemistry come together?
Well, I think, it's always, you're always working on it. It's daily, but I do think when you have really good guys and you bring in good people, that they mesh together quicker than if you had a bunch of knuckleheads. And so we have really good guys. They're still learning each other on and off the court, and we're trying to do things. I mean, we're not big into, and not nothing wrong with it. We're not going and doing retreats and going all over the place. To me, we're gonna spend time together and try to get to know each other. And then I think I always say the best team builder for a basketball team is to get good defensively. Beats anything else if you can learn to sit down and do something that difficult. The level of communication and trust and depending on one another and being connected and together that fosters is better than anything else you can do away from basketball. But so far so good. I think they get along. I think they care for each other like anything. It's on the veteran guys that have been here to set a great example. To show in terms of how we do things, regenerative leadership, and it's on the guys coming in to kind of follow along, figure out what's happened certainly and why we've been successful, and certainly be respectful of what's gone on before them, but also be committed to trying to create their own legacy and again understand that what has happened has no bearing on what is going to happen. It's a totally new team, different year, but chemistry and how guys connect and how they handle the ups and downs of the season. Obviously, without that, you have no chance to be successful. So it goes back to you hope you have a good group of guys, you have high character guys, and we think we do.
Just give me any final thoughts you have in the lead up to the 18-19 season.
Well, excited to get started. Another year with you means our weekly chats, which I look forward to. And we appreciate. We've got unbelievable fan base. We've have as good as there is in the country, and looking forward to a new year of basketball. Hope fans will be patient. I'm sure they won't as we go through our growing pains, but hope they'll be patient and enjoy watching this team develop and evolve, because hopefully we're a lot better in December and January and February and March than we were the previous month, and I think we will be. And again, just looking forward to another year, and it means I get to hang out with you a lot, so that's probably the highlight of the year for me.